Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. Today I'm going to make some macaroni and cheese for freezing. In fact, I think I'll just call this freezing macaroni and cheese or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, it freezes really well this way, but there are certain things you have to do to make it freeze super well. So, first thing we've got here is 1 stick plus 1 tablespoon of butter, and I've already got that melted. I'm going to put my burner on about medium. Now to this I'm going to add 1/2 cup flour plus 1 tablespoon. See that right there? Alright, dump that in. I'm going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of salt, and we're going to be fixing a whole bunch of macaroni and cheese. 5 cups of water, 1 2/3 cups of non-fat dry milk, and there's a reason why we use the non-fat dry milk at this point, and it's because the macaroni and cheese freezes much better when you use the non-fat dry milk, and it also actually just cooks better in the oven. You don't have to worry about any milk, curdling or whatever milk does when it gets hot for a long time. So you want to just mix that up. This is 5 cups, and again I added 1 2/3 cups of the non-fat instant dry milk. Alright, so we just got that all mixed up. Doesn't take but a second for that to mix up. I'm going to set that aside, and with this flour, salt, and butter, we just want to let that get a little bubbly. So you're just kind of cooking the flour a little bit, and this is all-purpose flour. And I've got my burner on medium. Now this is not like, well, it's somewhat like the other recipe that I posted on macaroni and cheese. This is just a lot more of it, and I'm not using as much cheese in this one. So, 32 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, and I like to shred my own because see how small it shreds it, and I just think it's a much better buy to buy it in bulk. So again, 32 ounces of shredded cheese, sharp cheddar cheese, and I shredded that in my food processor. Okay, the flour is bubbling now. Now to enhance the taste of the macaroni and cheese, I add, this is 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now you'll never know it's in there, but it definitely enhances any kind of dish that you're making with milk or milk products. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and I use the one that has the Chardonnay in it, but any kind would work, even just regular mustard. Now the mustard is also going to enhance the taste of the cheese. And when I make macaroni and cheese, I just always use the sharp because you're going to get a much better cheesy taste then. If you use like the mild or that medium, you almost can't even taste the cheese. Alright, I'm going to cut my burner down now to just medium-low, and we're ready to slowly add the milk. And just stir it as you go. Oops, milk overboard over there. Alright, I know this seems like a lot, but I mean, as long as you're making it, you might as well make a lot and freeze some of it. Now, what makes it so much better when you add this non-fat dry milk is it just freezes really well. In fact, if after you freeze it, you defrost it when you're ready to eat it, cleaning up that milk over there. If you defrost it in the microwave on defrost, now don't put it in the microwave on high, but put it on defrost so it's solidly frozen. You put it in the microwave on defrost, probably take it 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, depending on how big a container you freeze it in. It's going to be just like you just made it. I promise it will. And the whole key to that is use the non-fat dry milk and use the defrost button on your microwave. And I mean, this will keep a long time in the freezer. Now, we never keep it very long in the freezer because we always eat it up. It's so easy, you know, like if you work and you come home from work and you're wondering what to have for supper, just, you know, come in, put that in the microwave, prop your feet up, just add some vegetables for the meal, maybe a little bread, and you've got a complete meal. Because you've got all the protein really you need for a meal in the macaroni and cheese. Alright, so I'm just going to let this come up to almost a boil. I'm just going to scrape the bottom and make sure that nothing is sticking down there. And we're good. Sorry about the scraping. Alright, as soon as this gets almost to a boil, we'll be back. Okay, we are back and our sauce has somewhat thickened. Now, it's not boiling yet. Now, what you'll want to do is, see, I've got a straight edge here on the spatula. You want to really stir that every once in a while because it will definitely stick to the bottom if you don't. And, you know, have it on medium-low heat. Alright, now I've already cooked the pasta. I actually cooked the pasta before I ever started on this, before I even started the video. You'll need 3 boxes of the Mueller's macaroni or whatever kind you use, but you definitely want 3 boxes of it, so that would be, let's see, 24 ounces of elbow macaroni. And I just usually get the Mueller's because it's on sale a lot, and you can get like buy one, get one, and they also give out some nice coupons, so I usually always have that on hand. So I cook it, usually it'll say, you know, cook it for 9 or 10 minutes, and to don't start timing it until it actually starts boiling again, and then start the timing. And I usually cook mine 9 to 10 minutes because I want my macaroni good. You know, I don't necessarily want it al dente, I want it softer than that. So now our sauce is ready. It's not really boiling yet because you don't want it to boil. Hey, y'all go back in there. Go, go. Mama's recording. Go. Steely, go. Okay. Sorry about the dogs. They seem to know when I'm recording. Alright, so we're ready to add the cheese now. Now I'm going to hold back a little bit of this cheese to put on top. So you want to just go ahead and dump your cheese into that hot mixture. And I know this is a lot of cheese. It's 32 ounces of shredded, sharp cheddar cheese. But we're going to freeze this and have a bunch more meals out of it. Now in our house, it's just the 2 of us. So I freeze it in portions for 2. And usually when we have this, this is the main protein for the meal. And I like to add cooked like broccoli or cabbage, collard greens, kale, whatever, and have it sometimes with cornbread, sometimes with biscuits, and maybe some sliced tomatoes, or I've even had it with red cabbage, spiced red cabbage. And by the way, I'm going to do a video on freezing that red cabbage. It's like a German red cabbage, which goes really, really well with macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my burner off now because I definitely don't want this to boil. Let me give you a close-up of that. There you go. So it won't take it long for all of this to melt. And again, this is not like the other recipe that I posted on baked macaroni and cheese. That one had more cheese in it than this one will have. I mean, that one is like super full of cheese. Double the amount you would normally put, which we like that too. But when I'm freezing it, I'd rather use this recipe. And again, it freezes so well, and the secret to the whole thing is to use the non-fat dry milk. Because if you use regular, even like the skim milk or whatever like that's in the carton, you know, you're subjecting the whole thing to curdle, and then the milk get watery. If you use a non-fat dry milk, it doesn't ever do that, ever. Alright, we're just about there now. About got it all melted. And we're going to bake this in the oven. Sorry, I don't remember what this pan is. I think it's about 12 by 16 maybe, and probably 2 inches deep. Alright, we're ready to add our macaroni to this. If you've got any chunks in there, just kind of stir it around and they'll kind of dissolve. Alright, now I'm going to pour this into the macaroni rather than do it the other way, because this is of course a much bigger pot. So y'all hang on, here we go. Get all that out of there. Now we'll have some of this macaroni and cheese for supper tonight, and I'll just save out enough for our supper, and the rest of it will be frozen. And y'all know that I think it's Stouffer's that does a little macaroni and cheese frozen. The way I learned how to freeze all these different meals is just looking to see what these companies froze. And of course one of them is macaroni and cheese, and another one that I really like that they do is the stuffed peppers. They also do a pizza that's on French bread. That freezes really, really well too. So anything you see that is in the frozen food dinners, you know, if they can do it, you can do it. It's just that simple. Alright, I think we've got this thoroughly mixed now. Now I'm going to move y'all over to the other side so you can see better. We'll be right back. Okay, here we go. We're ready to dump this into the pan. And it's a lot. Hopefully it'll all fit in this pan, but if it doesn't, I'll get me another little pan. Yeah, I think it'll all fit. It's close now. Get that all out of this pan if I can. All right. It already smells good. Alright, so now I'm just going to spread this out. Let me measure this pan for y'all. You do need to know what size pan to use. Alright, it's exactly 2 inches high, 11 by 16. 11 by 16, so that fits this recipe perfectly. Just spread it out. I don't think anything will come over the side now. Now we are going to bake this at 325 degrees for 30 to even 45 minutes, depending on your oven. Now, my husband does not like those little hard macaronis that sometimes are on top of macaroni and cheese. He always says something when he runs across one that's hard. So the way to prevent that is just try to spread some cheese all over the top of it. And so that's why I held this back, just to try to get it all over the whole top of it. We still end up with some little hard pieces sometimes, but he's kind of picky about his macaroni and cheese, so I try to accommodate him. So I guess I held back maybe a cup and a half. Yeah, I think we'll have enough to spread it all over the top. Husband's at the dentist this morning. He's having to get a cap put on one of his back teeth because our dentist said that tooth was an accident waiting to happen. So Mr. Bucky decided he'd better get that tooth capped because he wanted to keep his teeth for a long time. I mean, he's 75 years old, but he needs his teeth to chew with. So that's why we'll be having supper tonight rather than our big meal in the middle of the day, which is what we usually do. But today our big meal will be tonight, and he should be able to, hopefully, as the Novocaine will have worn off, then he'll be able to eat tonight. Alright, that's about the best we can do on covering up everything. Now, some recipes for macaroni and cheese call for putting breadcrumbs on top. And I'm not sure why I don't like that, but I just like just the cheese and the macaroni. I don't want any of that, breading on top of it. It would probably look good, but I prefer to put cheese on the top of it. Alright, I think we've got enough on there now. This should work. So again, 325 degrees for 30 to 45 minutes if you use a pan this size. If you use smaller pans, you just have to adjust your bake time. But the reason for the 325 is because, of course, we've got milk products in this, and you don't want to cook something with milk in it too fast in the oven. I mean, this won't curdle, but, you just want to cook it slower. Alright, we'll be back when this is all done. Okay, the mac and cheese is ready. I wanted to give you a shot of it in the oven, just ever the slightest bit brown on top. And we're going to take this up and let it cool, and then we'll be back. Okay, we are back. The macaroni and cheese has cooled. Now it's still just a little bit lukewarm, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in the freezer cartons. I've already got a couple of them in there. And what I do is just cut it into the appropriate size for the carton. And this is going to serve 2 people. Now, the size of the serving in this case is, for a complete meal, for this being the protein for that meal. Okay. Now, if you wanted to freeze for, say, 4 people, you could actually put this in like a freezer bag, like a gallon freezer bag. And the whole key to it is to be sure and use the non-fat dry milk, and when you thaw it out, to make sure you do it in the microwave. Don't put it in the regular oven, because then it's going to taste like leftovers. But if you warm it up in the microwave, it's going to taste like you just made it. Alright, so I've already got 4 servings. There's 5. I think we can get 1 more, and then we're going to hold some back for supper tonight. Now, if you were just serving this as a, like a side dish with some other meat or something, that would probably serve 3 people. All right, so we got 6 servings. Let me open my cabinet here. And I'm going to actually put the rest of this in one of these Pyrex dishes so that I can warm it up for tonight. So any little stragglers, I'm going to go ahead and clean out of the pan. Now this will just save you a lot of time so you can, you know, have a good meal and not have to order out or go out to eat, because that's what we used to do all the time, because I always wanted good food. And I didn't have time to cook very much, so we went out to eat a lot and spent a lot of money doing it. So once I started making stuff in larger portions and freezing them and then heating them up in the microwave later, we quit going out to eat so much. All right, I'll just mash that down in there. Now this is probably enough for 4 servings right here, or probably 2 meals for us. So we'll have that tonight and maybe tomorrow or the next day. All right, so that's all there is to it. This is freezing macaroni and cheese. So we've got, let's see, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this would probably be for at least 2 meals, this and the Pyrex thing. So 4 servings, so let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, probably 16 servings out of this big pan. And by the way, this is a great thing to take for like a family dinner where you need to bring something, and after you cook it in the big pan and one that's 2 inches thick, it'll stay hot for a long time. Alright, we will see y'all next time. I hope you'll try this cooking. Really, I'll just call it cooking in bulk, so you have good food all the time. Alright, see y'all next time.